bought more silver recently. I did not. I own gold. I've not sold any. Didn't buy any gold. It's making all-time highs. Silver's still down substantially from its all-time high. So I have bought more silver recently. If you are not lazy and if you know what you're doing, oh my gosh, you can make staggering amounts of money if you buy the right miners. If you buy the right people and the right mine at the right place, you will make much, much more than if you just buy silver or gold. But you have to know what you're doing. Because if you buy the wrong mine, you're going to lose everything.
And what of platinum? What's your view on platinum?
Platinum's great. I don't own platinum, but sure, if you know what you're doing, buy it, buy it, buy it.
And
we also saying that the definition of a gold mine is a hole in the ground with a liar standing at the top. Be sure you know what you're doing. American stock market, which is the most important, has had its longest period in history. The entire history of America has never had such a long, good period in the stock market. Now, Mr. Trump says it's going to go on forever. He solved everything. Don't worry. That makes me worry even more. Investors like easy money. Everybody likes easy money, especially investors, because there's more to throw into the stocks and other investments. So the market seems to think this is good news. Hooray, hooray. Buy, buy, buy. I have sold everything. I am perplexed, I am confused, and I am worried. And I'm wrong so far. I mean, what do we know? I mean, the people in Washington think they know what they're doing. They rarely, very rarely have they known what they're doing, but they have the power to cut interest rates and loosen the purse strings. They can flood the world with money, and they're doing it. And everybody likes a lot of free, easy money. And it's going into the investment world right now.
Right.
It will continue, it seems, for a while.
Governments and central banks have kept economies afloat with ultra-low interest rates and unprecedented money creation. Investors cheer as cash flows into equities, bonds, and real estate, fueling asset bubbles worldwide. While Washington insists it has the tools to manage growth, critics argue that policymakers rarely anticipate the long-term consequences. Free-flowing capital may bring short-term prosperity, but it also risks inflation, asset mispricing, and instability. The market itself often signals unease before experts do. When optimism peaks and risk is overlooked, history shows corrections are not a question of if, but when.
Historically or traditionally, the market's smarter than all of us. And the market says, okay, guys, we like your story, but we don't buy it, and we're not playing. We're not going to play, which may be a sign that we are coming to the end. I'm of the view we're coming to the end, but that may mean the market thinks also we're coming to the end. And I wish I were that smart. Well, wouldn't it be wonderful if I were that smart? I don't know. I know we're getting closer to the end, but the market is always smarter than I am, or certainly always proves how little I know. And I don't know if it's going to go on another week, another year. It doesn't seem to be ending yet. I have not sold short anything, by the way. I don't have any shorts, but I have a lot of cash in US dollars. I don't like it. I didn't know that the US was now going to become even more socialist than it has been in the past, but that's a sign of socialist economies, when the government owns lots of companies. Now, it's not lots yet, but it might be the camel putting his nose under the tent. And I wish it weren't happening, but Mr. Trump's going to do what Mr. Trump's going to do.
So do you think Intel is just a start of a buying spree from the U.S. government?
Oh, I'm sure it is. Listen, when somebody gets in trouble, they're going to call up as fast as they can Washington and say, you did it for them, here we are. We need a few help, a little money too. Give us some. No, I'm sure it's going to get much, much worse or better, depending on how you look at it. I see it as worse.
In recent years, the U.S. government has become increasingly involved in corporate rescues, from banks to manufacturing giants. Critics see this as a step toward corporate socialism, where Washington decides which industries to support. Once governments step in, businesses quickly learn to lobby for bailouts, creating a cycle of dependency. While such actions stabilize markets in the short term, they may distort capitalism's natural process of failure and renewal. The trend suggests more intervention is coming, raising difficult questions. Is America moving toward a system where government and business are inseparably tied?
I don't see cause and effect, but we may well be stumbling into war. I mean, we see lots of small wars around. Historically, when you have a lot of small wars, something happens usually or often, and then suddenly you have a big war. That we may be on the way to that. I see worrisome signs. I don't particularly like what I see, but I have to deal with facts, not what I want. And it does look to me like we may be stumbling more and more closer to a big war.
What are those worrisome signs?
Well, I mean, you just mentioned it. We have several little wars going on around the world. And America's getting more and more assertive, if we use that term, saying it's for our own good. We're saving the world. Mr. Trump is saving the world. And we have more and more little wars developing. Washington tells us this is good. It's good for America. It's good for the world. I doubt it. I don't particularly like it. You look back at previous periods, you look back to the Second World War. There were all sorts of little wars here and there and over there. And the next thing, they became big wars. It's often happened that way. You look at the First World War. That's what happened. There were lots of little wars. And the next thing you had a big war. I'm extremely worried about what I'm seeing happening in the world because I think I've seen it before. And I don't see anybody in Washington that is worried. They all say, don't worry, we have things under control. I know they don't. It just makes me worry even more.
Global tensions are rising. From Eastern Europe to the South China Sea, conflicts are multiplying, often dismissed as regional skirmishes. Yet history warns that clusters of small wars often escalate into larger global confrontations. Before World War I and II, the world witnessed similar patterns, localized conflicts that spiraled into global crises. Today, America's assertive foreign policy adds to these risks, justified as protecting global stability. But wars rarely benefit nations in the long run. They drain resources, destroy wealth, and destabilize economies. The signs today resemble earlier eras when optimism blinded policymakers to looming catastrophe.
They're smarter than you and me. They're smarter than all of us. Don't you know that? If you don't know that, you just ask them, and they will tell you that they're smarter than all of us, and don't worry, they know what they're doing.
Now,
you look back at history, they always think they're smarter than everybody else, and they are smarter than everybody else until the next thing you know, they're saying, oh my God, how do we get into this war? How do we get out? They all want to get out, but then there's no way. War has never been good for anybody. Even the people who think they win wars don't, because it costs staggering amounts of money, assets, huge numbers of assets are spent or lost. So no, the war has never been, I mean, a few people make a few bucks, yes, always. And even if you win, you usually wind up worse off than you were before. Yes, you won the war, but it costs a huge amount of lives and money and everything else. So, no, I don't. If you look back at every war, just about every war in history, there have been very few beneficiaries in the long run. I bought more silver recently. I own gold. I've not sold any. Didn't buy any gold. It's making all-time highs. Silver's still down substantially from its all-time high. So I have bought more silver recently.
Precious metals remain a traditional refuge in uncertain times. Gold continues to hit record highs, while silver, still undervalued compared to its peak, offers potential upside. Inflation concerns strengthen the case for hard assets as loose monetary policies flood the global system with cash. History shows that easy money often drives prices higher, weakening currencies and eroding savings. Investors who can identify strong mining companies may see outsized returns, though risks remain high. Platinum and other metals also attract interest, but silver stands out as a contrarian bet for those preparing for inflationary pressures.
If you are not lazy and if you know what you're doing, oh my gosh, you can make staggering amounts of money if you buy the right miners. If you buy the right people and the right mine at the right place, you will make much, much more than if you just buy silver or gold. But you have to know what you're doing. Because if you buy the wrong mine, you're going to lose everything.
And what of platinum? What's your view on platinum?
Platinum's great. I don't own platinum, but sure, if you know what you're doing, buy it, buy it, buy it.
And
There's an
we
old
also
saying that the definition of a gold mine is a hole in the ground with a liar standing at the top. Be sure you know what you're doing. Many people have done studies that show you lots of easy money has got to go somewhere, and it usually goes into goods, and prices go higher. Lots of loose money, easy money, has often led to inflation. It probably will. I suspect it will again. I certainly would not sell inflation short. If anything, I expect more in the future. Nearly every country in the world, nobody is trying to cut back on the economy or on growth or on prosperity. No, I don't know of any country that is trying to cool things off. Everybody is happy, happy, happy. And that's great. I like being happy. I like for everybody to be happy. But I know when everybody is happy, we ought to start asking questions.
In times of crisis, global investors usually turn to the U.S. dollar, still perceived as the world's safe haven despite America's staggering debt. Holding cash provides flexibility, but its long-term value is questionable. Alternatives are limited. The euro faces political strains, while China's yuan is not yet fully convertible. For now, gold and silver remain core hedges against uncertainty. But the larger question remains unanswered. Where will capital flow when trust in the dollar eventually wanes? Until a credible rival emerges, the world will continue to rely on the very currency at the center of its debt problem.
Hasn't been historically, normally, if you throw a lot more kerosene onto a fire, it usually have a hotter fire. And everything I can see, it means we're going to have more inflation in the world, not just in the U.S., going forward, because most governments in the world will have lots of free money, lots of easy money now. And when everybody has easy money, that historically has usually led to more inflation. And if you ask me, it is going to lead to more inflation again. Don't sell your silver. You know, well, I don't know anything, but I am concerned. I am worried. I have a lot of cash, a lot of and it's U.S. dollars, not other currencies. And because normally when there's a problem, people look for a safe haven. Many people in the world still consider the U.S. dollar a safe haven. It's not. I mean, the U.S. is the largest debtor nation in the history of the world, but most people still consider the U.S. dollar a safe haven. So I own a lot of U.S. dollars. If and when problems come and the dollar goes up, I hope I'm smart enough to sell it. Now, your next question should be, okay, where will you put your money? And Danny, I don't have an answer. For one time in my life, I don't know where to put my money if I sell my U.S. dollars. I don't see another currency at the moment. I own gold, I own silver. Sure, I can do more of that, but I am looking for a currency which is going to compete with the U.S. dollar, and I don't know what it is yet. Theoretically, it would be the Chinese currency, but it's not a convertible currency yet. It's getting more convertible, but it's still not a fully convertible currency. So you cannot have an international currency that's not convertible. So I don't know.